What's up guys, Ben here and welcome to Motivation to Invest. Now on this channel I generally give useful investing tips and exclusive stock picks which I personally have been investing into. But many of you guys have commented on previous videos and said, Ben, can you make money day trading or is it all a scam? Well, we've all seen those guys on Instagram flexing with Lamborghinis and private jets, telling you to follow their trades and saying that they're going to make you £1 million within 1 week. Now, to me, these guys are doing a real disservice to the industry, and I suggest you ignore any messages asking you to pay to trade. These people are complete scumbags and give a bad reputation to genuine traders. So are all traders scammers, or are there some genuine traders out there making real money? Well, in this video, we're going to find out, as I sit down with a genuine, honest and real trader who makes a real passive income every single month. Now, he's not going to tell you how to make £1 million in a week like many of these scammers on Instagram. However, what he will tell you is how he makes around £2,000 in passive income every single month. Now, for many people, that's an average salary and can go a long way to helping you be financially free. So if you're ready to find out how he does it, let's dive in to today's video. So here we are with our genuine trader. What people want to know really is what first inspired you to get into trading?
Very funny story actually. In terms of the trading itself, it wasn't an intentional thing that I wanted to trade. It basically started off with me being a little computer geek back in the day, always playing Xbox, always playing Call of Duty. And what I was doing is I was actually uploading some of the gameplay and some of the commentaries on YouTube. Okay. And I got a bit of a hype through that because a lot of young people were doing it at the time. I started doing eBay, so I was buying and selling on eBay, then I was buying and selling on Amazon, then I started going to auctions, buying and selling, and then these things lasted for a few months. Okay. But it wasn't.
So you've always been quite entrepreneurial.
Yeah. And again, I don't really have a mentor. This is just something that I've learned through motivational videos, through people on YouTube, through motivational speakers. Yeah. And what happened was after these things sort of disappeared, halfway towards the end of 2017, one of my friends who actually met on Xbox Live about 10 years ago, doing it for about 6 months, so about a year, and then the course that he did with me, which was a company in London, and I started watching the videos, and at first it literally did not make sense. I didn't understand any of it.
Yeah, I thought complicated, what's all this charts and numbers. Yeah.
Absolutely, it was a completely different language, so I left it for a little bit. I did a little bit of research on it, started looking at people's returns, is this really real? Then I started seeing these people you were saying earlier about with Lamborghinis and all these Rolex watches, and obviously I got the hype, and I was like, wow, these kids are like more or less my age.
Yeah, that gets everyone excited. That's get everyone excited.
And then that's where it takes you to the dark place of Forex, because then you start learning the truth that a lot of these people who have got these Lamborghinis, obviously no disrespect to anyone, but trading isn't something that it just happens immediately. Yeah. It's a cycle of hell, back and forth for years.
I love that, a cycle of hell. Like a lot of people say to me, it's like a profession, like you've got to learn it. Like you don't just wake up one day and get to say, I'm going to be a plumber, or I'm going to be an electrician, or I'm going to be a solicitor. But people think they can just wake up one morning and say, I'm going to be a trader. But like you say, it requires a lot of work.
Absolutely. Well, with trading itself, just to mention the figures, so every 24 hours is about $5 trillion that gets put through volume, so back and forth all over the world. And if you look at it in a bigger picture, when you dive in and you're a small fish, you literally just get dragged about from side to side, back and forth, because if you think about it, this money is being used by the biggest institutions on the planet. So the biggest investors, multi-millionaires, billionaires, who are just waving and manipulating the market over and over. So that's why it can sort of get you down, which it did. It did do that for me for a long time, because I kept on earning a bit and I was like, I've cracked the code, I've done it, I'm doing it. I'd maybe get a profitable 1 week or a few days, and then I'd get really happy, I'd up the lot size, up the percentage, and then I just lose it all. Which is one.
Boom, like a kick in the balls.
Yeah, and then and you have to start all over again. So it's just a kick in the head all the time.
Yeah.
And the people that obviously make it, I mean, I'm nowhere near where I want to be in terms of trading, but where I've got to from never giving in and never giving up is through the losses that I've got here. Yeah.
So what traits would you say make a good trader?
Patience. That's probably that was my worst attribute at the time, because when I was younger in high school, I was such an active kid because my diet was really off. I always used to drink Coca-Cola, just eat sweets. And what happened was my mum's friend actually thought I had ADHD. Which was
blue smarties, like keep them away from
literally. I was a kid who wasn't on top of things. And how it worked out was, I actually got into yoga. I started practicing yoga through a friend I used to know. That started to basically mold my entire character, because the kid I used to be I was immature, I was young, I didn't know. And then yoga started basically maturing me, it started molding me into the real version of myself, which helped me with my patience.
Yeah, and give you more discipline as well.
Absolutely. So the discipline came into it a little bit after, when I started teaching yoga. I understood that trading and even meditation or yoga works perfectly, because one is very mindful, it calms your body down. The other one is a bit more of a up and down emotional state sort of thing. So discipline, patience, obviously commitment. Commitment is a big thing. And it's not just with trading, it's with everything that you need to commit yourself in, because with trading in the UK, London time, the market opens around 8 a.m. So some people don't even wake up till 8 a.m. And to be able to have the commitment to wake up at like 6, 7 a.m. to analyze the market prior, that's a big attribute as well. So those are probably the three main ones that you have to do it, to be successful in trading and to actually make profit.
Patience, discipline, and commitment, they're three big traits which can make you successful in trading.
Absolutely.
So what's your trading strategy? Like, if you just give us a brief overview and then we'll jump over to the more detail.
Sure. So I'm a bit of I like to day trade. I like to get in, get out, because that's my personal style. So I will usually get in the market for either a few hours to maybe max 2-3 days max. I don't really like to hold it any longer. That's just my personal preference, because when I hold it for a little bit longer, again, it's obviously practice, but I get a little bit stressed, a little bit anxious, because that's what I've been subconsciously programmed to do, is after a very short time, a day or two, take the profit and then look for new trades. So that's basically
that's what you're comfortable doing.
Absolutely.
And you do that on Forex, is it?
Yes. So I normally trade 5 pairs. So I trade gold, I trade Euro USD, I trade GBP AUD, GBP JPY, and GBP USD. Those are the pairs that I trade. And I always check every single one for new opportunities every day. But I don't trade every day because it can become a bit mentally draining. I do look at the trading and I analyze daily, but what happens is, if I don't see a trade, I just leave it, and I'll just go and teach a class or do something else.
Take your mind off it.
Absolutely.
So how much do you make currently, say, per month with the amount of time you put in? So
the amount of time that I put in is, I analyze from anywhere to like 30 minutes to 1 hour a day, just to get an overview of where I think the market is. And so in terms of profit, so make about £500 a week. And again, that's risking £500 to £100 on each trade. So it varies. Obviously, you can't guarantee a specific amount, because the market can do anything it wants at any point. But that's why I did look to average every single week, because that keeps me going, and I know that I'm making moves forward.
So guys, that's around £2,000 a month. Now, after tax, that's close to the average salary in the UK for a lot of people working 9 to 5. And Carol here just puts in few hours a day analysing the charts in order to achieve that amount of money. So although it may not seem like a massive amount of money, it's true and it's genuine, and it's not like all this rubbish that you see online with people in Lamborghinis saying they're going to make you £1 million in a week. And that's what I think is really powerful about Carol's position in his journey, how he's come so far, and he's making just passive income, because I think that a lot of people, they want to be more financially free, so they have passive income and they've got control of the time. Has that how you are, would you be more like you like to be financially free?
Absolutely. That's obviously one of my main goals, because when I was a lot younger, I had a really bad relationship with money. I got myself into debt through just wanting materialistic things. I got into the wrong circle of friends. A lot of bad things happened quite early on. That's why I feel like it's catapulted me to this moment, to where I am now, because so many things in a row happened, and none of them were quite good. I mean, I was in a few car crashes. I've even had my jaw broken. I got stabbed in the face. Yeah. So this was.
How was that? How
so just basically I got attacked. Someone started to steal my bike quite a while back, and that just mentally drained me to.
So he's not just a good trader, he's a warrior.
Not a warrior, I'm a warrior.
Yeah, that's it.
So it's definitely been a cycle. I mean, I'm only 24, and the amount of stuff personally that I feel like I've been through, and I'm there's enough stuff there to share to somebody, maybe to inspire them or to help them get through their issues,
Exactly, yeah. And that's how you learn through life. You learn through these experiences and these pains that you go through. They create the greatest learning curves for you. Like how much did you, like you said you've lost a lot trading, how much did you lose when you traded?
So over the last 3 years, I've lost about maybe 15 to 20 grand.
Yeah, 15 to, and that must have been obviously mentally draining and quite terrible for you at the time.
Because this wasn't even my savings. This was, I was working at a sales company, and I was doing part-time delivery as well. So I was earning maybe £2,000-3,000 a month, and I was just whacking it in, and I'd earn a little bit, but overall I'd lose it, because I'd constantly forget about my risk management. I'd earn a little bit, then up the gains, and then I'd lose it all, and I'd be like, I've just spent all this time analysing, I've just made the profit. I said to myself, I'm not going to go back into the market, and then I'll do. So there's plenty of different patterns that you go back into. But for me personally, it's been absolutely a journey, and this is only the beginning. Things are only starting to manifest now, after 3 years.
So yeah, exactly. Like as the great Nelson Mandela says, I never lose, I either win or learn. So the fact that you've had so many losses means that you've got a great amount of experience, and that's allowed you to be winning now.
Absolutely.
So just for everyone, I'm going to do a quick intro on the difference between trading and investing, because a lot of people get these things confused. So I tend to do on this channel a lot of stock investing, and that basically means I analyze the fundamentals of a company and follow similar strategy to Warren Buffett. So I look for great companies at great prices and then invest into them for the long term. Whereas with trading uses technical analysis to judge the short-term price fluctuations of the market. Would you say that's correct?
Yes, that's absolutely right. So in terms of trading, because it's such a wide spectrum, it's all based on obviously how the economy is performing. So it's a lot more volatile every day compared to a stock, because you can make 10, depending on how much you're risking, we can make 10, 20, 30, 40% in one day with one single pair. So the volume and how fast the market moves, I would say it's a lot faster. This is why personally for me it works, because back in the day my patience was quite short. So with my personality of how I trade, it adds perfectly, because I can get in the market within literally 2-3 hours. I can get out and make the profit that I wanted to, which applies to me.
Okay. Do you use leverage when you trade?
Yeah, so normally what happens is the normal trader will use anywhere from like 2 to 5% of an account. But because I don't have a large account of like 5, 10, 20, 30 grand, what I do is I just risk 50 or £100 per trade. And I just go for a risk of 1 to 2 or 1 to 3. So on average, I'll take about maybe 5 to 10 trades a week. And then I just try to, roughly, I never say to myself, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And because a lot of the time you can create resistance for yourself. Like if you say, I'm only going to trade 3 times and then that's it. And for me, that is a little bit of a limitation, because I look at the charts every day and there's so many opportunities. So I just sort of go with the flow. But I'm not, if I do notice myself getting quite stressed or getting quite winded up by the market, that's when I know I need to stop.
Have a little break, do some yoga, and then come back to the charts.
A little practice.
That's a good tip for everyone.
Yeah.
I think a good way of us finding out exactly a bit more detail about how Carol's strategy works within trading is we'll just dive over into the laptop and just go through the details of a trade. So here we are, we're in the trade now. Carl's just going to explain to us exactly what's going on here.
Okay, so firstly, everything that I do is technical analysis in terms of the charts. So what you see on the screen right now, these green and red bars, for those of you who are not sure what they are, they're called candlesticks, and they represent different time frames. So they represent. So for example, this one, this is on M. So this is the monthly time frame. So each candle, each red and green bar represents a month of price action. So basically, what's happened during that month. And obviously, this has all come down from the Japanese hundreds of years ago. And it was just to simply weigh and measure rice, funny enough. So
is that where it's from?
Yeah,
that's interesting.
That's what they used to do with it, and because these candlesticks represent the psychology of what happened in that time period. So, for example, this is a pair GBP AUD. So we're still in the monthly time frame, right? So let me just keep it very, very simple, very, very straightforward for those of you who are brand new to the market, to trade in. So as you can see, this market has been, this pair has been going up and up and up and up, making higher highs and higher lows. So it's come up, made a high, come up, made a higher low, then it made a higher high. So it's basically broken the previous high, which made a new high. So you already understand that, yeah?
It's an upward trend.
Upward trend, exactly. So that's why I've got this yellow bar here. It's called the trend line. So this represents each little spike it's come to. It basically means it's respected the trend line. And each time it respects the trend line and holds, it's basically supporting it. So it's there's a bigger probability that the market will continue to go up that same way. So if we look at it on the naked chart, we can see here the month that just finished in July, we had a candlestick that formed bullish, which means that buyers were in control that month. And this is quite a strong candle because it represents a lot of bullish momentum, because it went red first, so it faked people out, found support at this level, and then completely reversed, come back to entry, went the opposite way. So this is called a bullish hammer, and it's a strong reversal pattern, especially from support level. So this could, depending on how the British pound performs over the next few months or towards the rest of the year, this could actually come back up to these highs. Okay. Yeah. So if we come back to that chart, that trend line, so this is the monthly. So now we know this trend line is obviously held that month, so we had a rejection from it. Okay. So then we break it on a weekly time frame. So now each candlestick represents a week of price action. So if we come back to that same zone, that month now is spread out into 1, 2, 3, 4. So that averages that green candle we just saw. So now we had, this was the initial rejection, and it closed as a candle called a doji, which means there's a lot of indecision. So it went up, went down, it closed just about where it started. And then the following week, it just boomed. So it made new highs, it broke out the consolidation, and then held there. So
the bulls were sort of equal to the bears in terms of buying and selling power, and then the bulls just took ahead of
exactly, yeah. So that's pretty clear. So then what we do is break it down even lower, so the daily time frame. And so what I actually did, just to find out if this price will continue going higher, is I put a counter trend line. So this is the opposite yellow line. And if it breaks the counter trend line, it's obviously saying that it's no longer going down. It's broken out of the downtrend, now it's up in an uptrend, which is obviously going back to the weekly and the daily, it reflects the same thing.
Yeah, that upward trend.
So you'd probably be asking me now, why am I in a sell if this is just rocketed all the way back up? The reason is why is because if you see this tool here that I've got, this little box, this is the current resistance, this is the current ceiling. Now it would have to break this for it to continue going higher. Okay. So it would have to break out. It'd have to break out here. It'll come up anywhere. And then what we'll wait is for a retest of this zone to find out if this will hold as a new floor for it to continue going higher. But right now, that's not happened. What's happened in return is, if we go down a little bit lower, we've had quite a few rejections of this zone. Now also this red line for some of you that are not wondering, this is the only indicator that I actually use in trading, which is called the 200 EMA, which in a longer term, it represents the overall trend.
Yeah, exponential moving average.
Exactly. It represents the overall trend. So usually what happens is, even if you backtrack over the last 20 years, if you observe where the 200 EMA has touched the candlesticks, a lot of the time what's happened is it's had massive rejections from it to the upside and to the downside. Okay, so here we had a doji, here we had another doji, we come up, and then that's more of a spinning top. So it's around this area, what you can notice is this price started to slow down. So then what I did is broke it down to the 4 hour, seeing there was those two dojis and a rejection. Then we had the next 4 hour was a bearish candle, come all the way down, found a bit of support, but there's still closed bearish. Okay, so sellers were still in control. So then I looked at the 2 hour. The 2 hour told me then there was a lot of selling pressure. What happened was the sellers did a bearish engulfing candle, so it engulfed around 8 of the previous hours. So now you can see there was a reaction. It reversed.
Okay.
Straight away we had a retest, and now we're at a phase where we're going to find out if this level holds. So let's see if we can roll over. But I actually got in a little bit earlier because I got in right at the top of this trade. So I got in right here, which was on the 5-minute time frame. So we've seen this is a very famous popular pattern called the head and shoulders.
Yeah.
So we had the left shoulder here. Let me just draw it on so we can all see. So we had the left shoulder here, then we had the head, and then we had the right shoulder. And then what happened was the price came to here, which was then called the neckline, which is the bottom of, where's my tool here. So this was the neckline. So what happened here, seen the breakout, and then what I waited was for a little retest, neck candle followed through. And then what happened further on is the price just dropped down and dropped down and dropped down in my favor, and then found a new support. What's happened ever since I got in is the markets came back to retest, which we are here now. I thought then it was making the right shoulder, but we found a bit of support here now, and we're pulling back up to almost where I entered. Now all I'm going to do now is just see if this same price around here where I got in will hold. So now it potentially could make another pattern called the double top.
Yeah.
Where it comes up, rejects again, and then this time it
then goes down to a big drop.
Yeah.
Then.
So
is this where your stop loss
is here? So just for everybody to understand, so I'm risking, I'm risking 40 pips.
Yeah. For
the reward of 176 pips.
Okay.
So it's a risk reward of 1 to 4.
So what is a pip? Is that just a point or a move?
Yeah, so a pip stands for percentage in points. Okay. So basically, if you look to the right side here, so this is pound Australian dollar. So for every £1, it costs 1.8367 Australian dollars. So it's almost double. Yeah. Almost double. So the fifth point is called the pipette. We don't really look at that. We don't really follow that.
Yeah.
So we only look at the four digits after the points. Yeah. So this number 6, 7, this is the pip.
Okay.
So I'm risking 40. So if the price comes up to 1.8417, then I'll be taken out in a loss of £40 roughly.
Yeah.
If it comes into my favour, then it'll be roughly 176 pips. So around that same price. So I'm risking £40 for a reward of 176.
For a reward of 176.
Yeah, so it's a risk of 1 to 4.
Okay.
So it's quadrupled. Obviously, not every single trade is just going to automatically go there, because once the price breaks this, it's all about mental psychology. Then you're going to hold it, you're going to keep observing it, or you're going to lose your focus, lose your commitment, and then just take it out early.
Yeah.
So it's just patience, but that's just an overall view of one pair that I've traded, specifically today on the Monday morning.
So with trading, from what I can see, so you could lose, for example, if you were risking this amount all the time, you could lose, say, that £40, say 4, 8 to 12, say 4 times, and then you get.
Then I'll be back to break even.
To break even.
Exactly. So I would have to win Overall,
one out of 4 or 1 out of 5.
I would literally have to win, out of all my trades, let's say I do 100 trades, I would only have to win 25 of those 100 trades and still be profitable.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, that makes sense. That's a good strategy, because a lot of people think you have to win every trade.
No,
and that's just not true.
It's more or less impossible.
Yeah,
no matter how much money you've made or how successful you are, you will lose, because a lot of the time the market pretends to do something, and obviously don't forget this market's constantly manipulated by the big fish out there, so you got to keep your wits about you.
Yeah,
but it's all experience.
The strategy seems just you've got to win more than you lose in total, and then you're an overall winner, which makes sense. Right guys, so I hope you found that interesting. I hope you learned something about trading. If you appreciate the hard work which has gone into compiling this video, then you should definitely give this video a big thumbs up. That really helps out with the YouTube algorithm, which allows us to create more great videos like this for you guys. And if you want more investing tips and exclusive stock picks, which I personally am investing into, then you should definitely subscribe to this channel and turn that notification bell on. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Invest safe.